What is up, everybody? It is the Bluebloods here, back with our final Week 10 college football preview, and we're headed back to Baton Rouge for the third consecutive week for our SWAC Game of the Week as Florida A&M travels down to Mumford Stadium to take on Southern 6 p.m. Central Time kickoff live on ESPN Plus, and also I'm sure there'll be some SWAC channels streaming this one somewhere if you don't have that, but this is a giant game for the SWAC. We have FAMU playoff potential hopes, also still in the running to get to the SWAC championship game in their first season in the SWAC. And we got Southern, who needs a win just to even keep their pipe dreams of a SWAC championship alive, man. But if you're new, smash the subscribe button. Also, give a big thumbs up on this video. And as y'all know, with our game of the week, if you comment your score prediction below, who wins the exact score, you win our $50 Venmo giveaway for the game of the week. But let's set the let's set the table here for this big matchup. FAMU comes into this one 6-2. 4-1 in the SWAC. They need a win to keep both championship hopes alive. And a big road win here could go a long way since their final two opponents are a combined 1 for 15 this season. But this team has rode a strong rushing attack and a dominant defense to a very, very strong year one in the SWAC. And Willie Simmons' team has seemed to slowly but surely get better week after week. And this is a big chance to make a big statement in the SWAC with a win this weekend. Now for Southern, they come in at 4-4, 3-2 in the SWAC, a huge upset win over Alcorn last weekend in Baton Rouge. Plus, the Jags have to win this game to even have a chance at their division. They also need PV to lose this weekend. So the dominoes have to start falling for Southern, and for them to even have a shot, a win this weekend is a must. But if they could pull off this upset, back-to-back wins over Alcorn and FAMU, it would change the entire trajectory of where we really look at where this team is at this point of the season. And it would give them a great shot to end the season feeling pretty good about the trajectory of the program. And they're looking to do it on the back of the best rushing attack in the SWAC against one of the better defenses in the SWAC. So this could be a huge statement game for Rollins and the Jags this weekend. Now, when you look at the history, man, FAMU leads the overall series 34-24 with a tie back to 1949. And the Rattlers have won 3 of the last 4 matchups, the last one coming in 2019 in a 27-21 Rattlers win. So that's the stage, man. Huge stakes, to really good teams. But let's break down to the keys of what these teams need to do this weekend to win this game. For FAMU, the rushing attack being consistent and explosive this weekend is going to be extremely important because shortening the game up, not letting Southern control the pace of the game, or having your defense on the field for damn near 40 minutes is the key. They have to counteract Southern's rushing attack with their own. They have to shorten it up, trust their defense, and ride this great rushing attack to a huge win on the road while taking some of the pressure off of Rashawn McKay this weekend. Now, when you look at their rushing attack, it's third in the SWAC in total yards rushing this season. They rank third in rushing touchdowns. So it's a top 3 rushing attack in the SWAC right now. And it all starts with the guy who has had an outstanding season, Bishop Bonnet, 645 rushing yards, almost 7 yards per carry. He's top 5 in the SWAC in rushing yards, top 3 in yards per carry, and he's top 10 in rushing touchdowns with 4. Bishop Bonnet does it all. He's been a huge key to this team all season long, and you saw flashes as early as week 1 against Jackson State about how special this guy can be. He is going to be one of the key players this weekend. Then you also have Terrell Jennings, who's more of the rotational backup for him. 386, 5 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. This FAMU rushing attack has rushed for over 100 yards in every single game this season. They've also had a rushing touchdown in every single game other than the Mississippi Valley and Jackson State game. So it's been a consistent factor for this offense all season. I would say, man, if they can get another 100 to 150 yards rushing, FAMU is going to be really tough to beat because you know their defense is going to do their thing on the other side. So for me, running the football, allowing yourself to try to control the pace of the game and not let Southern just run up and down the field is going to be key. And when you can let Rashawn McKay play with no pressure, just being able to work off the run game, get some one-on-one matchups for your talented wide receivers on the outside against a Southern defense that has really struggled to stop the pass this season, That's why the running game for me is going to be key this weekend. But you look at the passing attack for the Rattlers, they have really grown week to week. And the number one thing for this weekend is for Rashawn McKay to not make any mistakes and just make a handful of plays to keep the defense honest and really open up some more holes for Bonnet and this rushing attack. When you look at McKay, man, over 1,400 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 picks, top 6 in the SWAC in yards, top 5 in the SWAC in passing touchdowns. He's played better down the stretch, and he really has played his best football recently. He got a lot of flack early for being very, very inconsistent. The Mississippi Valley game at times, I know there were a few fans that were not happy with his performance in that one. But last week he played well, and I really think he's going to have some opportunities to make plays against a Southern secondary that has really made a lot of people look like a superstar. So Rashawn McKay has an opportunity to really put a good foot forward moving into the later part of the season. Now, for Xavier Smith, Jamari Shareed, all these guys at the wide receiver spot, you should have the matchups that you want on the outside. Southern's banged up in the secondary. They haven't been able to slow anyone down. These wide receivers have a chance to have big games this weekend. When you look at Smith, 40 catches, over 360 yards. He's top 5 in the SWAC in catches per game and total catches. Jamari Shareed, 37 catches, 326 yards, 6 touchdowns, top 3 in receiving touchdowns, top 10 in catches per game, 9th in total catches. These two guys are going to be X factors, and I think they could have huge games, especially when you look at the type of games that CJ Bowler and some of these wide receivers have had against Southern. Also, David I believe it's Mandigo with 24 catches, 251 will be another guy to watch. And also Kamari Young in the red zone, the tight end, 3 touchdowns already this season. I think FAMU could use him in the red zone to really throw the defense off because they're going to be expecting the run, and you could do some sort of play action bootleg and get Young out in space against the secondary that is not going to match up very well against his size. So those are the keys for me for FAMU to win this game. But for Southern, last weekend, yes, Bubba McDaniel played one of arguably his best games of the season. But for the Jags to win this one, they got to do what they do best, and that is run the football, control the pace of the game, and really why not try to wear down this FAMU defense? They are one of the best defenses you've seen all year, if not the best. You have to try to wear them down. You have to try to establish your will on this defense, or it's going to be a long game. Because I personally don't think the secondary is going to give up the type of yardage that Alcorn did down the stretch last week. Now, for me, looking at the Southern rushing attack, they lead the SWAC in rushing yards, yards per game, yards per carry, rushing touchdowns. Anything that has to do with rushing, go ahead and just stick Southern in that number 1 spot. They're the only SWAC team averaging over 200 yards rushing per game, and that is going to have to be the key this weekend if they want to pull off another big upset over Florida A&M. Now, it all starts with Kobe Dillon, who a lot of people are saying should be in that freshman of the year conversation, over 500 yards rushing, 8.2 yards per carry, 4 rushing touchdowns. He's top 3 in the SWAC in yards per game, top 10 in rushing touchdowns, and 2nd in yards per carry. He's number 1 for a running back, but Devin Black I believe Devin Black for Bethune is number 1 right now. So he's a quarterback. So we'll give him the number 1 spot for running backs. Also, Devin Ben, 400 yards rushing. Craig Nelson, 255. And then for the past 2 weeks, Jared Sims has really established himself. Only played 2 games this year, but he's back. I believe he had an injury early in the season. He had a 3 touchdown performance last weekend against Alcorn. So what Southern needs to do is rotate these guys out, get them all a lot of touches, put fresh bodies in, and wear down this front 7 of FAMU and make them stop what you do best. When you're looking to pull off an upset, you have to have big games, and your strength has to be your strength. So if you don't run the ball if you're Southern, or you abandon it, that's going to cause a lot of problems, in my opinion. So Southern just needs to pound the rock, run the football right down FAMU's throat, and that's going to be the way you find a way to win this game. Let Ben, let Dillon, let Nelson, and let McDaniel from the pocket go make plays for you against this FAMU defense. If you can't put pressure on FAMU's defense like Grambling wasn't able to last week, you're in a lot of trouble. And you saw what happened when Noah Bowden and those guys from Grambling did not put any pressure on FAMU's defense. FAMU ran away with that game. So the passing game's also going to have to be there a little bit for Southern. This is the biggest test of the season, and the number one thing is to avoid turnovers and make the defense play you honest. And you cannot let them pin their ears back. If Southern finds themselves in third and longs, it's going to be an extremely long day because the secondary is too talented and the D line is too good for them to be able to pin their ears back and come after you. So Bubba McDaniel over 1,000 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, only 2 picks. He's number one in the SWAC with fewest INTs. He's second in completion percentage and sixth in efficiency. He's going to have a big game. Listen, last weekend he rose to the occasion. He made the plays to win the game, a season high in passing with 258 yards, a huge late touchdown pass to McLean, and he also led that game-winning drive to get the game-winning field goal. When you look at the matchup, though, FAMU's defense is only allowing 155 passing yards per game and less than 5.5 yards per completion. They got the fourth best pass defense in the SWAC. It's going to be a huge test. I'm not asking McDaniel to go out there and put up record numbers. He just cannot allow FAMU to stack the box and just make this team one-dimensional. You've got to be diverse in your attack. You have to be creative, and you have to keep this defense off their game and out of their rhythm, or things could get real interesting this weekend in Baton Rouge. So Southern has to run the ball. McDaniel has to make the handful of throws to really make this game interesting for Southern. Now, finally, man, the matchup to watch that I'm looking for this weekend has to be Southern's offensive line against FAMU's defensive line. This is going to be an outstanding matchup for me. Southern's offensive line has performed extremely well this season. They stepped up in a huge way last weekend, allowing no sacks against Alcorn, and they have yet to allow more than 2 sacks in a game. They rank second in the SWAC with sacks allowed with only 12. And this is an offensive line that had 4 first-team All-Americans in the preseason, and their 5th one made the second-team All-American list. So it just shows how talented this O-line is. They have some real experience, but Southern, to win this game, has to win the line of scrimmage here. They have to be able to run the football, and they have to be able to protect McDaniel this weekend if they want a chance. So this Southern O-line is, in my opinion, has to play their best game of the season thus far. Now, for FAMU, the defense is going to be a huge test, like I've already said. They rank second in the SWAC with 26 sacks this season and second in the SWAC with 68 tackles for loss. That's fourth in the entire FCS. So this team lives in the backfield, and their athletes go out there and make some real plays every single weekend in that front seven. And it all starts with the guy who I think has a great argument for Defensive Player of the Year, Isaiah Land. 12 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, multiple QB hurries. This kid is a problem, and this is going to be an interesting matchup to see how Land in these defensive linemen can keep McDaniel in the pocket. Alcorn really struggled with getting pressure on McDaniel and McDaniel going to make plays with his leg. Isaiah Land is extremely athletic. Can he contain McDaniel in the pocket and they get sacks rather than letting McDaniel escape and make plays? You also have Deontay Williams, 4 sacks, Savion Williams, 3.5 sacks, Gentle Hunt with 3 sacks as a redshirt freshman. They have so many guys that can go make plays in this front seven for FAMU. If they can get to the quarterback, get some sacks this weekend, force McDaniel and or Skelton, if he sees action, into some big mistakes, FAMU can run away with this one. But if Southern can establish their run game, control the clock, keep this FAMU defense on the field for 35, 40 minutes in this one, Southern's going to have a great chance to pull their second big upset in Mumford Stadium, for the second straight week. Now, for prediction, I have 2 teams that I don't think I've picked either of these 2 teams on the podcast. I picked against Southern for Prairie View and A&M, so I'm 1-1. And I believe, and I'm pretty sure that I picked Jackson State over FAMU week 1 as well. So for me, looking at this matchup, I do think it's going to be closer than some people may expect. But for me, I cannot bet against this defense for FAMU, man. They have been playing lights out. I don't trust either quarterback. The run games are great. I just trust FAMU's defense to make a sack, force a big turnover to win the game. And Willie Simmons' squad is going to be ready to play. They got a lot more to play for, man. They got that playoff spot on the line. They still are in their division race in the SWAC West. So for me, I have the Rattlers pulling out a big win, 27 14 over Southern in Mumford Stadium. So a 13-point win. I think they pull away late, get a late touchdown. But I got the Rattlers 27-14 over Southern. So, guys, since this is the game of the week, comment your score below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video to enter our $50 Venmo giveaway for our SWAC game of the week. And if you're new, smash that subscribe button, man. I appreciate y'all's support. Our final Week 10 college football preview. If you're looking for more college football content, go click on our playlist at the end of the video, our Week 10 playlist. You get all our game previews, our live mailbag on Tuesday, all that good stuff, man. But hey, if you're going down to the game, man, y'all be safe. Can't wait to talk to y'all Monday with our SWAC recap. But for right now, man, the Blue Bloods are out.